Hello and welcome to episode number 5 of the AniGains podcast, or should I say konnichiwa. We've got a very special episode today because one of us, and I'm not going to say who, has just returned from the hashtag Mecca from Tokyo town. It was Kez. It was Kez.
It's
Kez
the,
came
it's
back.
the hashtag Tokyo now. We're gonna
Yeah,
call it.
yeah, the hashtag Tokyo. Yeah,
Yeah.
because what is the Mecca? The Mecca basically is Tokyo. So, yeah, I'll quickly introduce my. You'll probably already know this by this point. I'm Mr. Cam's Fitness. Kez is Kez, and are joined by Noah D. Campbell. Boys, how are we
Oh,
all
yes.
doing?
We are doing very well. I can't say I've had anywhere near as an exciting week as Kez, to be fair.
Yeah,
But it's been all right.
yeah.
I go away on holiday on Wednesday though. I've got Denmark and Sweden, but not quite Tokyo, and we'll get into that.
Yeah.
What about yourself?
Oh, I mean, yeah, for myself, like, I'm busy, but again, no, I'm not like flying out to Japan busy. I'm training legs with Mr. Jack Archer tomorrow at Greatness,
Oh
and
yeah.
then on Friday I'm traveling up to Leeds to do a clothing shoot with a fitness company that I can't reveal the name of. Uh,
Wow.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, I'm
Mate,
supposed to
you're
be the
in
hashtag.
you're in my ends. Leeds is like half an hour away from me.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's quite close to be fair. If I'm still about, I could always, if you're willing to come up to Ultraflex, we could,
I'll see what's going on that day.
yeah.
Is it just Friday?
Well, it's Friday and Saturday. I'll be traveling up there on Friday, and then yeah, I might train somewhere on the Friday, and then obviously Saturday I'll have the shoots for a company I cannot name, but that shall get revealed very soon, and with potentially something else quite cool. But yeah, not as cool as anything like going to Japan, mate. I'd sack that off to go to Japan, honestly. So, Kez, I mean,
nice.
at this point, I'm burning because we've not even spoken a little bit behind the
Yeah.
curtains for all you
We
guys. We
haven't.
do actually talk usually like before we start the pod, but I've been purposely not saying anything to Kez. I don't know if Noah has. We've
I've been
got a
trying.
couple
I've
of
been
updates
trying
from him.
not to ask
Yeah.
all the questions to be
Yeah,
fair, but
mate, you hurt my feelings, man. I thought you just didn't want to speak to me.
No, mate, no, it's all for the sake of content now. Like if
Excellent.
we're gonna talk to each other, it has to be on camera.
Yeah,
Like,
man. Going in raw.
yeah, man. Well, okay,
Going.
well, yeah. Okay, right, Kez, please tell us, how was Japan?
Everything that I hoped it would be and more.
That's
Like,
so cool, man.
genuinely, I'd say up there with the best week of my life. Like,
Really?
in terms of holidays, like I'd still say the Thailand trip that I went on is up there, just because there was maybe a little bit more a variety of like climates because I traveled across Thailand, so there was a bit of more of an exposure to different things and different cultures.
Mm,
But I'd say I'd put it on par with that in terms of my enjoyment of the holiday. So
yeah.
yeah,
That's so
that and
sick.
Thailand say my favorite place I've ever been to. Mate, it's absolutely incredible. So much fun. Um, like every minute we were just like doing stuff. Didn't waste this particular minute, and obviously it was really cool to do it with my brother as well. Because
Mm.
obviously we hadn't seen each other in a few years. Obviously he lives in Australia. So yeah, man, it was really good to catch up with him. So what I'll probably do is I'll share my screen. Um, and then because what I purposely did this just for the podcast, is I did like a summary post every single day.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Basically going over what we got up to every day. And this was for the sole purpose of reviewing it on the podcast. So first day. So day zero is what I like to call it. So that was just a travel
yeah.
day. Travel day. So probably over 20 hours getting there was pretty grim. The travel. To having said that, we went with Etihad,
Where was it that you stopped over? Yeah.
Abu Dhabi. So yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
Etihad obviously a Abu Dhabi based airline.
Mhm.
To be fair, they're very bodybuilder friendly because they were giving me like chicken and rice every 3 hours. So yeah, man, they cared about my gains. So yeah, shout out Etihad. So yeah, so obviously got to Shibuya. Just walked around for a bit and then walked to my Airbnb. Airbnb, that was the only downside. It was absolutely tiny. Like literally,
Oh, yeah.
if I was staying there by myself,
Mhm.
I'd have thought it was small still. Like they
Isn't
did a
that
good.
like quite common though in
Yeah,
yeah.
well, I didn't know that, and they
Mm.
did a good job on the photos of making it look a lot bigger than it
Yeah.
actually was. Mate, they must have like used some special Instagram, like special filter or editing, because it looked way bigger in the photos. It was
Mm.
all right. It is what it is. Like we didn't spend much time there anyway because we were out all day, so that was fine. So yeah, in terms of what we did on the day. Mainly just exploring Shibuya because that's where we were staying. So went to the crossing, the famous crossing, the scramble.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Like it's cool like when the lights go from red to green and then everyone was just like rushing
All
through.
over.
Yeah.
It's absolutely mental. That's wicked. Um Before then as well, so that was like quite late in the evening. I actually went to Lift Gym. Just trying to see that. Yeah. So I got a rinse there. So I think they charge like 120 quid for a week pass.
Yeah.
But I thought, you know what, I'm here. I might as well train at Lift Gym. It's cool. Like it's a cool vibe. Like in terms of the equipment, the
Yeah.
aesthetic of it is pretty cool.
Mm.
It's a bit, it's a bit too pristine for me though, in terms of the feel, if you know what I mean. Like,
Oh mate, yeah,
um,
massively. Yeah.
yeah,
Like
like it's not got that like hardcore
hardcore vibe.
bodybuilding
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah.
So it's like you feel like if you like training really hard, you feel a bit weird
Yeah.
being there if that makes sense. Like there are like legit like top IFB like there's I don't know if you know that Junpei guy, that Japanese
Yeah. Yeah.
men's physique guy. I saw him
Men's
there.
physique guy,
Did
yeah.
you?
Yeah. I saw him there like
Nice.
every time I trained.
That's
Uh
Yeah.
sick.
yeah. He's not that big by the way. I hope he's not
Oh,
watching this.
calling you out. Junpei, if you're watching, mate,
Shocking.
Pez thinks he's better than you, mate. Sorry.
Junpei, if you're watching this, I love you, and I think you have the best physique in the world. But in person, he's not that big.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Anyway,
I was going to ask actually, kind of like on that note, because like obviously, is there any like hardcore bodybuilding gyms there? Because that
Mm.
they've got like prime equipment there. I'm obviously assuming it's a high-end gym, but like, is that
Yeah.
like really like a thing? Like, no, would you know? Like,
So the gym that I went to was Canican Fitness. And obviously you checked that out, Kez, later on.
I didn't.
Um, oh, did you not go there?
We'll go on to it. What gym I
Okay.
trained at, but I didn't go to that one.
So I was meant to train there, or I did train there. It was good, like it was decent, but there wasn't like prime Nautilus, anything like that. I'd say there's lots of hammer strength. So there's powerhouse fitness all
yeah, yeah,
across
yeah.
Japan. So I went there. Those gyms are quite good, but in terms of like hardcore bodybuilding, no, there's not really that kind of scene in Japan. At least from my experience so far. Kez, how were they with like letting you film in that lift gym? Do
They
they let
didn't.
you?
They didn't.
They don't.
No. They specifically said you cannot film in there. And I literally had to sneak it, like filming a few sets. So I filmed a few
Oh,
sets, like sneakily. So I did, they said like
uh-huh.
no tripods whatsoever. So they said like you can take like a quick mirror selfie or whatever if you want to,
Yeah.
but you can't like get your phone out and start filming.
Why?
Um, I don't know. Apparently it's a thing
Yeah.
in Japan. Like quite a few
Yeah.
gyms do that.
Gold's Gym don't let you film at all. I had
Yeah,
to
yeah,
leave my phone in the locker room when I was up north.
yeah.
Because I was gonna go to that lift gym when I go back. But if they don't let you film, then I'm just not gonna be going there.
Yeah,
Yeah, mate, it's bizarre. It's absolutely bizarre. Considering it's a bodybuilding gym and they'd get good publicity from people filming as well. And then I
Mm.
did like a cheeky like physique shots in the changing room as well, but I had to be sneaky about it. So yeah,
yeah.
hopefully the Lift Gym people aren't watching this as well.
Oh,
Gonna
mate,
be
the men's
banned
physique
for
guy's
life.
going to show him now.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you called him small. Now he's
Junpei's
like,
gonna
mate.
rap. So Junpei, please don't rat me out. Anyway, cool. And then in the evening, yeah, went to this ramen place. So my brother got some ramen with wagyu, and then I just got like some wagyu with other bits and bobs. Banging
A5 Wagyu.
up, A5
Hell yeah.
wagyu, banging man, absolutely unreal.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, so that was the first night. Let's go on to the next post.
Oh, quickly, just on the subject of A5 Wagyu. Noah,
Yeah.
did you get sick of it? Like at some point? Because I've heard that like people they have A5 Wagyu for the first time and then like they keep having it and then it like becomes like too much. Because A5 Wagyu is like
No,
very
it's
yeah.
quite sweet.
I
But
wouldn't have it every day. Like, no way.
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
only had it. I think I've only had it like two or three times, and it's been like once each time I've went. I've not been like, oh, I'm gonna have a meal out. I'm gonna have more of that. Like, nah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
nah. It's a
Yeah.
wee one that is.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm, mm.
Sweet. Okay. Then the first full day, we went to Harajuku, which is like it's sort of part of Shibuya. It's quite very close to Shibuya. It's actually like right next to the place where Lift Gym is. So it's a
Mm.
place called Omotesando Hills, which is
Yeah, yeah,
the like a fancy shopping center where Lift Gym is, and then right next to that is like the Harajuku area. And mate,
Oh yeah.
is sick, man. It is sick. Like it's just a full of like thrift stores, secondhand, and then
J
just
fashion
these
is
like
huge there.
yeah,
Yeah.
essentially that, and they had like stuff like Bape and other places like that
yeah,
as well. Yeah, man, that was unreal. Really cool experience. Like some of the fits you saw with people like going down there, they're unreal, and like they do not mess around with their fashion.
Yeah.
In Japan, man, like it's mint. Like you see like you get these aesthetic spots like these corners and then people are doing like a full photo shoot there and the big like I don't know if you know but everyone wears well not everyone but a lot of people wear masks in Japan
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
and a lot of them incorporate them into their fit as well, like as part of
hmm
their whole fit, and it's really, really cool, man. It's really cool. And like their ability to like get into poses and then just switch from pose to pose, like fit poses. Mate, I was miring hard. Like
Yeah.
I'm a posing coach, and I was like, I cannot do that. I cannot do that, man. It was unreal. It was class. So yeah, so went around, went to a few shops there. So I was just trying to. Oh, wrong one. Let's see. Do. So yeah, so this was like a little corner
Damn,
yeah.
bro, it's
where
so
Those
pretty, man.
little side
mate,
streets are
I was yeah. So it was like a little aesthetic spot. I was just sat down waiting for my brother,
yeah.
and this woman photographer comes up and asked to take some fit pics, and I was like, I was honored. Like this is like
Yeah.
the moment in my life.
I've made
Like,
it.
I'm in Harajuku, and I've been asked by a photographer to take some fit pics. I'm like, I have made it.
Mate,
And then yeah, and then I got her to take some on my phone as well, so I could post it to the gram.
that's how you
So
know your fit was good, bro. I knew my
Yeah,
fit was
man.
ass because when I sat in the corner in Korea, people started like throwing money at me and shit. I think people thought I was homeless, and I was like,
Uh, yeah, man. So yeah, cool little anime sticker store there as well. Cool little yeah, retro car. That was in Harajuku as well. Um,
yeah,
little One Piece bag there. Um,
official merch.
yeah, hell yeah.
yeah, so that was
Yeah.
in Lift Gym, and this was in Bape, where my brother also had a pretty fire fit there.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
look. And then
You went
obviously
to
we went.
Golden Guy, that's it.
Yes, yes. So we went to Shinjuku.
Nice.
So obviously
Yeah.
this is like in a street in Shinjuku, where
Mhm.
yeah, I kind of stayed there a bit too long and was holding up the traffic in the yeah attempt of getting a fit pick. Gotta be done, bro. Gotta be done.
It's
Yeah, for
got to
the
be
gram.
done.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was pretty cool. Walked around Shinjuku a bit. So yeah, went Golden Guy, which is really cool. It's like
Nice.
these like series of like little small streets where they had like these bars on and little mini restaurants as well where like they're so cramped like there's like barely any space whatsoever for people to sit down and eat like if you were to get out you'd have to get everyone else in the row to get out to let you out basically we didn't
Mhm.
actually eat there we just checked it out and then we also went to a place called Omiyo de Yomocho which is like very similar to Golden Guy it's just a slightly different place in Shinjuku definitely
Mhm.
worth going there at night and then we went to the garden as well, so the Shinjuku Gyoen uh, National Garden. So that was this one. So yeah, it was cool, man. Like
God.
there was like a massive area where you had like a oh God's sake, um, sort of like a greenery bit where the grass it was so pale, like it looked like it had like just frozen over, like that there.
Yeah.
And people were just, it was so clean and pristine that people were like using the grass as like a path, Like normally people will use a pathway. People were just walking
Yeah.
across the grass. So that was pretty cool. Oh, for God's sake. I
It does
keep
look like
pressing.
gravel, actually.
Yeah, it does, but it's
Yeah,
it's just grass.
yeah.
And then there was like a little lake area, and there was like a little temple type thing there. So that
Mm.
was cool. And then what else did we do? Yeah, we went to a restaurant. What do you call this, Noah? Where you like kind of grill it yourself? It has a name.
Shabu shabu.
No, 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 no. It's called. It begins with a Y.
Yakitori.
I think so. Anyway, it's basically one of them places where you get your meat raw, pause,
Yeah.
and then you basically have a grill here, and then you put it on there, so you make it like as to how well done you want.
Mm.
So that's pretty cool, like cool experience.
Yes.
Like apparently you're not supposed to like have these flames like coming out.
Did you enjoy doing that? Because I enjoyed it the first time I did it in Korea, and then after that, I found it to be a huge chore.
This
Like,
this this was the only meal we did it for.
okay, yeah,
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 we only did it once just for the experience. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, I wouldn't do it again on the same trip just because yeah, it was a bit of pain. Like I
yeah.
wanted to just eat, but it was cool. It was cool whilst we did it. But apparently,
Mm.
yeah, you're not supposed to have these like flames coming out, and they gave you these
Yep.
ice cubes to put on to put them out. And apparently the trick is you don't put the meat in the center because when you put it in the center, like the oil from the or the juice from the meat like drips and then that
Just makes
causes the
it.
flames to come up
Yeah.
even more. So you're supposed to put it on the side. So I was like literally like scrambling to put them on, put the ice cubes on, flip them around, and it was pretty it was
It did make
mayhem.
a
It
pretty
was
cool pick though.
yeah, man,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
fire. Gotta be done. Yeah, man. Channeling my inner Sanji there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. But that was cool. However, we got absolutely rinsed. So when we were checking the prices, like I looked at it and I was thinking, um, I think the bill, well, what we thought the bill would came out at about what we thought was 25 quid. And we were like, that's really cheap. Or I'm not complaining here. Um, and then we get the bill, and then we do the conversion again at the end after we've paid, and we forgot a zero. So it came out to like 250 quid.
Fuck, man.
Yeah,
What is
man.
that place there?
Yeah, mate. And like, I wouldn't have minded if it was like some really high-end fancy restaurant, but it was like a bit of a dive. Like inside, it was
Yeah.
mainly just like the food itself, which was nice, but like the interior, like was nothing to it really.
Mm.
Um, and it was annoying as well because it was like a Muslim restaurant, like a Pakistani owned one, and the guy was like, "Brother this, brother that," and being really friendly, and then he goes and rinses us. So yeah,
Yeah.
man, I have bad feelings towards that guy.
Was it
And
just like
then
really expensive meat or something? Like, must be.
I don't know if it's supposed to be that expensive because we didn't pay half of that anywhere else we
Yeah.
went in
Mm.
Japan. Um,
I've never paid that much for that before. So
Absolute
where was it that you
outrage.
had that? Was that
Shinjuku,
Shinjuku? Yeah.
Shinjuku, yeah, that was annoying. And then another story about that place is I left my because I bought some clothes from Lyft because they have a pop-up store in Harajuku, and I bought some
Yeah.
clothes from there, and I left it in the restaurant. And then the day after, I went back and I said, like, have you seen a bag from Lyft Gym? And they played dumb with me, saying they hadn't. So basically, this guy's dripped out in some lift gear at the minute that he probably bought with the £250 that we paid them. So we've been absolutely
He
rinsed.
fleeced you.
Yeah, man, we've been rinsed. Anyway, so that was the next day, day one. So then we go on to day two. So this was the day of days, Akihabara, so which
Oh
is
yes.
the famous anime central district of Tokyo. So a bunch of anime stores, like manga, arcade, video games, all that sort of thing. Really, really cool, man. Really cool. Like we went to a couple of anime merch stores. So there's one called Animate, which is quite famous.
Yeah.
And then there was another one. What are some other famous ones, Noah? There was another one which we went to as well.
There's one neck right next to it that's tied. It was fuck. It was like the retro games. Did you go to that one that was right next to it? It was like the claws, everything like that. Um
There's loads of them.
yeah.
We went to one of them,
hmm
those gaming places, and obviously
Um
with like their standard arcade ones as well.
yeah.
Um,
There's anime, that's the blue one with the
yeah,
yellow.
yeah. So
Um
that's largely like manga.
yeah. Um oh, I can't even remember what the name was. Because that whole place is nuts. Akihabara, you go anywhere. There's
Yeah.
just gonna be like 7 floors of everything.
Oh, mate.
Um
So the anime is literally like you go on initial floor, there's a bunch of like merch and manga, and then each floor there's like a different section. So it's catered to like a different genre within manga.
yeah.
It's so cool, man. And then you just start walking around, having a look, having a browse. And then yeah, each floor there's a different one. So really cool. Really cool. And then I'm just trying to think of the other place that we went to. It's quite a popular one that we went
This is
to.
in Akihabara.
Yeah, and it was less manga. There was some manga, but it was more like the merch
Like,
side of things. So
like
like the
figures and everything.
yeah figures.
Hmm. Hold on, I'll go on maps.
Yeah.
Akihabara, Taito City.
Um.
Um, was it like on that main strip?
Yeah. It was a little bit off it. It was a little bit off.
Um, can't even think. Oh,
Mandarik
that's it.
complex. Yeah.
That's it. Mandarin.
So yeah, just a bunch of figures. There was also some manga there as well. It's a similar concept really. So
hmm
that was really cool. Then we went to an arcade. Mate, there's so many games. Like we think in the UK they just have like
Yeah,
Street Fighter and like Tekken and stuff like that. Like they have so much there,
yeah.
so many choices to choose from, and um, like the little cool retro ones, they're really cool. So we had a bash at them for a while. That were wicked. Then, then the main event of the holiday
The main
was
event.
the main event was the maid cafe. Um, Mate, Cam, you think we went to a maid cafe? We did not.
Yeah,
That was
I'm looking in the background and it's there's a lot happening, man. Like,
oh, mate,
yeah,
it was something. It was something. So, yeah, we walk in, and they do like I don't even want to replicate it, but basically, whenever anyone walks in, like in unison, all the workers like do like some what you think an anime would say, like some crazy what like anime girl like
You've got to
greeting
give us an
basically.
impression, mate, because
No,
yeah,
no,
mate.
I haven't got a
I'm not
clue.
sure I
I'm
follow.
We've not got a
no,
clue.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna dare. I'm not gonna dare. Anyways, we get seated.
What? Every time
And
somebody walks in, though.
yeah, every time somebody walks in, they do the
Fucking
same
hell,
thing.
mate.
It's
Oh
crazy.
shit.
They're so on it as well.
Yeah.
Uh, and then, and then we get seated, get given a menu. We get told a few customs about how we communicate with the maids. And in order to signal that we want something or want to speak to a maid or whatever, we have to say a specific phrase.
Oh my God.
And the phrase is meow meow.
No shot. Fuck.
Meow meow. So
Kids meowing in Japan.
if we say anything other than meow meow, we will get aired by the maids. So if we want anything, every single time we have to say meow meow.
Jesus
Uh,
Christ. Meow meow. Do you mind showing me where the pisser is, please?
exactly. So
Fucking hell.
yeah, mate, any shred of credibility or self-respect I had is just out the window now at that point. So yeah, so that. We just get we just get some like cocoa and little bits and bobs to eat. And then they do like a full routine. So I don't know if you saw my story where they were doing the little song.
Oh yeah, you tagged
Uh
me in that, and you're like, "This is Cam's fitness fantasy." I
yeah,
was like,
yeah, it was. It was. And mate, it was going on for about 20 minutes as well. Like
"Fuck."
they did a full set of like yeah, anime like romance, I don't know, cheesy anime girl songs.
Yeah.
and apparently like there were this couple that like paid for it, so they can do like a personalized routine for whoever pays for it. And we were all yeah, it was so I actually enjoyed it, to be fair. It was good fun.
Yeah,
But yeah,
sounds
they're
like a
like
laugh, man.
yeah, man, it was class, and like they were actually good singers, to be fair. They were all really good.
Yeah.
And the dance moves were all synchronized and everything as well, so I appreciated that. Um, and
The
then
question I have is like, how much do these girls get paid, and are they getting tips? Because this sounds like a shift.
I
Yeah.
mean, phew, I don't know. I'm assuming they enjoy it. It's just a completely different world. Like, and then it was funny because I say this, but the let's just say there were a few other male f- customers
Can
at
you
the
zoom into
place.
them in the background? Those two guys
Uh,
in the corner that I'm looking at.
yeah, that guy. And I was just looking at them. I'd be like, "You are the cesspit of society, you guys." I was just looking at them with judging faces. I'm like, "We are here as tourists, so we have
Yeah.
a buy, we have a
They've got a
pass to
season
come."
ticket there.
Yeah, you have a season ticket. I'm like, yeah, I was just judging them hard. And then so basically, you can pay to like take photos with the maze as well.
Mm.
I did that, but I didn't post it because I sent it to you boys. But basically, the photo was taken at a time in which it looks like I'm holding a hostage. The maid, so I was like, this does not look good. So I'm just not posting this.
Yeah.
So yeah, but however, there were there were a couple of guys who got the maid to take a photo, and you could get them to hit a specific pose, like whatever you like within reason, whatever you want. And they asked her to basically get on all fours and pretend to be like licking out of a bowl like a cat, and she
What the
did it. And
fuck?
she did it.
No shot, dude.
Jesus.
Really?
Was this by
Yeah.
any chance the same guy at the
Is it
back?
that?
It wasn't. It was actually
Yeah.
out of the. No, no, no. Actually, he was out of the shot. So he was like on the table next to us, so you can't see him in this photo. Yeah, mate. I was like, what on earth? Like, up to that point, I was like, I was on board with it. It was good fun.
Yeah.
And then after that, I was like, okay,
Yeah, like it's time to
this is
go. Yeah, like
this is a bit strange now. Yeah, this is a bit too weeby. I'm too far down the rabbit hole at this point now.
yeah, you don't want to be associated with those type of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you were like any pose within reason, I was just like, okay, well, like, front double biceps or something would be funny. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But fucking bro, come on,
Oh,
man. That
mate,
is ridiculous,
but
bro.
they were on board with it. Like they were on board with it. It was yeah.
Sure.
Surely they
This might
must
just
have
be like the
charged more for
Western
something like
different.
that.
Maybe they
Yeah.
did. But yeah, like when we go, we are going to this place. 100% we are going here. It has
They're
to
gonna
be done.
remember you, mate. They're gonna remember you.
Mate, for the sake of content, it has to be done.
For the sake of content, yeah.
Content.
Yeah, content. Oh. Yeah, anyways,
wow.
so that was that. What else did we do? Oh yeah, also, I won like a little raffle thing, so they gave me these cat ears
Oh,
as
yeah.
well, so I had to wear them.
You had to wear them,
Had
yeah.
to-
Yeah, yeah. It's not that I didn't want to, yeah, I just have to wear them.
Yeah.
It's not that I was wearing them for hours afterwards as well, even when I left the cafe. um, so yeah, so this is an example of some of the manga at the anime store, so that was pretty cool.
Mm.
Oh yeah, also we went to the One Piece gym. So that was pretty cool.
Mate, your brother's pretty fucking
Yeah,
jacked,
mate,
actually,
he's
isn't he?
lean. Mate, he's lean. He stays lean pretty much all the time. So my brother actually doesn't train for bodybuilding. He does like calisthenics.
Yeah, man.
So like he just like mostly does bodyweight stuff. He does a little bit of bodybuilding stuff here and there, but I've said like, mate, if you train for bodybuilding, like you do well. Like you've got the shape for it, small waist,
Yeah.
wide shoulders, good abs. So
Yeah.
yeah, mate, it looks good. So yeah, so this was like a little studio within the One Piece gym in which you could like just do whatever, and then it had like a full like little projector with a background with like Luffy on, and other
That's
bits and
awesome.
bobs. Let me just see if there's any other bits of the gym. So yeah, so that's the gym as well.
The One Piece gym is mainly like hammer strength equipment, isn't it? From what I've
It's
seen.
all right. It's all right
Yeah.
to be fair. Like it's worth it a visit. Like you can have a good session there, absolutely, because it's got a these few hammer strength stuff, and it's yeah, obviously worth going for just for the vibes. So yeah, you can see it's got a little adductor and abductor there, and it's got cool like manga panels in the back as well, which is really cool, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, so that's the maid cafe. So that's the stage in which they did the little routine as well,
Hell
and
yeah.
then they took the photo of them licking the bowl as well there. So yeah, that was in this was in the Mandarake, so they had the God cards in the Yu-Gi-Oh, so I thought that was pretty
Yes.
cool.
Yeah.
In the One Piece gym, they had lockers, and each locker was corresponding to a different One Piece character, so that was pretty cool. And you could
Nice.
choose the character you wanted. That's Akihabara. So yeah, this was Mandrake, a few little figures as well. Let's have a look.
Did you
And
notice
then
how many like girls are out in the streets of Akihabara with the signs? How
for what
mental it is.
for the maid cafes, you mean?
No, so on the so literally all down that main strip, there'd be girls like dressed up as maids or they'd be
Yeah, yeah,
dressed up
yeah,
as
yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
But a lot of them,
I thought they're trying to get people into maid cafes.
yeah, so some of them are, but some of them they have it so it's like come have a drink with me. So they'll go, it's like 2,000 yen for 30 minutes. So
Man, I missed out.
so you're basically
You're
you're
telling
paying
me
for
this
the
now?
I'm sorry. I should have put this in
Yeah.
the itinerary.
Oh,
It's
jeez.
mental. Like if you go down that bit, you're just gonna see like a girl every 5 meters, all with like
Yeah, yeah,
side
no, I did. I
little
did.
weights.
I thought they were just getting people into maid cafes. That's what I thought it was.
Wait,
No,
so
it's
you give them 2,000 yen.
yes, so it's like 2,000 yen for half an hour, and you're basically buying them drinks. So you pay for their company, you buy them drinks,
What do
and
you get out of it?
the company.
To be fair, there are people that would pay that.
Oh, I've seen so many people stopping and like getting the
Yeah,
leaf.
yeah,
Like some proper seedy old men at these like they must be so young that like whenever they start doing it,
yeah.
and they're just sat there getting the leaflets, and I'm like, fucking keep your head down,
Oh
boy.
dear, jeez. Yeah, man. So that's anime. So just a few of the manga. Oh yeah. And then I think I had the arcade stuff as well. So that's just a few of the arcade. So that was
Yeah,
pretty cool.
the arcade machines are sick, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
That
man.
I think that was Tekken. Cool. Okay, so next day, a little bit of a different vibe. So this was Asakusa. So more of a cultural day, I suppose. So the main thing there, the main attraction is the temple. So it's a senso-ji temple, which is I think it's a Buddhist temple. And then in order to get there, basically you're going down the street which is called Nakamiso Dori Street, and it's basically just a street full of like souvenirs, like
Yeah,
local souvenirs, bits and bobs like that. They had like personalized like chopstick store as well, which was pretty cool. But like more cultural traditional souvenirs, like local ones. So that was really cool. A little food stand as well. And then that leads to the Sensoji Temple, so that was really cool. We also went to this museum, and it's not really that hyped, but so that's the street, by the way. Um, it was called the Samurai Ninja Museum, and like for me, I like anyone who's going to Tokyo, I reckon you should absolutely go there, mate. It was so good. Like it was literally an hour, so it was quite quick. But basically, they give you like a rundown on like the whole history of Japan, like within the samurai system, the feudal system, and how it works in terms of the rankings, how it developed over the years, like some of the main battles, the cultures and traditions of Japan as a whole, and where some of the customs came from. For example, when you're in Japan, everyone will walk on the left, like all the time. Um, and the origin of that is samurais back in the day. They would also always wear their sword on their right. So basically, sorry, on the left. So basically, if they walked on the right, their swords would clash, and that would end up in a fight. So basically, in order to avoid that happening, they would walk on the left, and now that's stemmed into today's society in
Really?
Japan. Yeah, yeah, that's the reason why. And
That's
I don't know.
sick.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't know if you've seen like in the samurai movies or where they have the hairstyle where they're bald on top and
Yeah,
then they
yeah,
have
yeah.
like a little patch
yeah.
in the
Like top
middle.
knot, yeah.
And the reason for that is because in order to get their helmets to fit better.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, yeah, that's the
Yeah.
reason why. Yeah. So these fun little facts,
That's sick.
that you just see these like stuff in movies and anime, and you think, oh, well, that's
No,
just
I
the
guess
thing,
that's
and
what
then
they did. Yeah.
yeah, and then they're just explaining it, and yeah, it was really cool, really interactive, and at the end they let us through some shuriken as well. Which was really cool.
Nice.
So, like, you know how you do those axe throwing places in the UK?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, yeah,
basically
yeah.
that, but with shuriken instead.
That's
Um,
so cool,
yeah,
man.
mate, it was class. Mate, I was nailing them in all the practice rounds. I was sinking them, and then as soon as it got to like the competitive side, I just bottled it completely, and none of them were sinking. Like, yeah, mate, I was like, yeah, basically as effective as any Naruto character who throws shuriken. Like, as anyone who watches Naruto, the shuriken do absolutely nothing
So
whatsoever.
did they actually use shuriken, or is that like a thing that's just been brought or around through media?
So this is another fun fact. People think people use shuriken mainly as like a weapon to like throw at people. However, the main use of them was like as a distraction. So like say it was at night and you're trying to do like a secret mission where you're infiltrating, what they would do is they would throw the shuriken at like an object away from where you want to go, and then that would make a noise, and then
Make
people
a
would
noise. Yeah.
go towards that noise, and then they'd sneak in and do whatever they need to do. And that was the primary purpose of the shuriken.
Oh,
You know.
it makes
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
sense.
was this?
So
Was this in like near senso-ji?
no, it was about a 15-minute walk from there. So
Okay.
it was a bit that area itself, it was like
Mm,
quiet. There weren't a lot of tourists there, so you kind of need to I think that was the only reason people would go to that point was just for
yeah.
this. But I would highly recommend going to it because it was brilliant.
Yeah.
And then to end it off, we went to Tokyo Skytree. So this is in Asakusa as well. So yeah, I think one of the tallest buildings in Tokyo. You get like this elevator which goes like I think it was going well, they do it in meters per minute, but it's cool because when you go up the elevator, they say what the speed is, and it went like a few hundred meters per minute, which is pretty cool. And then you're there in a flash, and then we were at the top. Oh, so let's see. So we've got a view here from the top. So we managed just to catch the sunset. The only annoying thing is there were these clouds that were kind of covering the sun a little bit. So that was a bit annoying. But yeah, we still got a really cool view of the sunset. Trying to think of anything else. Yep, so that's that. And then yeah, we just got a cultural burger, I believe. See if we've got a
Yeah,
shot
my,
of that.
my
Yep.
favorite Japanese dish, a
Yeah.
burger.
There we go.
Oh yeah, man.
And then yeah, have these little Demon Slayer masks as well.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
did you
So
get
that's
to do much like inside the sky tree? Did you get to go to all the shops inside it?
didn't really have much time
Nah.
because we got there with barely any time, so we literally just went straight up from
Yeah.
there to get the catch the sunset. Um, and then following that, we had a reservation at the restaurant, so we just had to
Ah,
get
yeah.
like an Uber
Yeah.
straight from there, so we didn't really do much else there. But yeah, it was cool. It was definitely worth it for sure. So yeah, so that was that day. Then the next day, so this was largely dedicated to team labs. So this is in a place called Toyosu, which isn't like a massively touristy area, I suppose. So that was cool. Like basically, it's hard to describe what it is. It's like a display of different, I don't know, exhibitions or
Yeah, it's like an
yeah, yeah,
immersive like museum
yeah.
kind of thing.
Mm.
Yeah. So you like have to take your shoes off, and you like the first one is dedicated to like water. So you kind of like walk through I don't know, different paths. Like sometimes the water's like quite high up, and you just get a feel for what it feels like. And then at the end of each one, they kind of have like an explanation as to like what the sensation is and like how it links to, I don't know, the world we live in or the perception or the mindset of something. And it's pretty cool the way they describe it. So yeah, so you have these. Oh. So it's little balls, little waterfall type thing here, and then they had a few interactive things as well, where you could actually like do like a obstacle course type thing. So this one were like a little few sort of balls in which you were like it's like rock climbing basically where you try and cross it using only the same colors pretty much. So I literally like pegged it. I literally ran across just to see if I could do that without falling, and luckily I did. Um yeah, I'm trying to think of so much else. Yeah, a few ball there. And then yeah, there was like a little obstacle course here as well, so that was pretty cool.
Dude.
Yeah, man. So that was cool. And then when we went out, we saw this kid playing Quidditch. Oh man, oh, I gave him a fist bump. I had to because that was really cool when I saw that. And literally, oh, has he got the noise? Because he was playing the Harry Potter theme as well. Ah, I can't hear it. But yeah, he was literally had like a speaker playing the Harry like Hedwig's theme from Harry Potter whilst he was like doing like donuts
They're
on his
doing donuts and
yeah,
shit.
yeah. So that was really cool. I'm trying to think of much else. That was more of Team Labs. Yeah, and then we went to this place called Bubba Gump Shrimp. Apparently, it's a franchise worldwide. Really good shrimp there. Really, really good shrimp. Like they
Yeah.
gave us this assortment of different shrimp tempura type stuff. Yeah, there. With some fries, and probably one of the best meals I had whilst I was there. To be fair, so that was in a little
That
shopping
does look
center.
good.
Yeah, it was sick.
Really?
Mate.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm surprised, like like legit, because there was a bubblegum shrimp in because I know it's the Forrest Gump like franchise.
Hmm.
They had one in Vegas and it was ass.
No,
Like
no,
from what
it
I mean,
it
well,
was really good.
yeah,
It was really good.
kind of
Maybe
different.
they made it differently here, but
Yeah,
yeah, it was class. Really good. So yeah, so a bit of a quieter day. We just did that and then we chilled in the evening. So that was cool. Next day was more of a so with my friend Jacob. So we'd been speaking on Instagram for a while because he's another natty men's physique athlete, really, really good athlete, really nice guy. So yeah, so we actually went to a gym called Hero Gym in a place called Mejiro. So not a touristy area, like I literally just went there to train. However, it is a decent gym. Like in terms of the atmosphere, it's actually better than Lift. So more there are actually a lot of like English speaking people there, like a lot of people from like America or UK or
Hmm.
Australia who actually train at that gym. The kit is like a lot of like techno gym and yeah, the
oh,
kit is a bit meh,
yeah,
but you can still get a decent session in
yeah,
and
you
the
can
vibe
to
is
be fair,
is
yeah.
a lot better and you can film yourself as well, which is really good.
Mm.
So that's much better. And yeah, mate, I had a really good session. So got some posing in with Jacob as well. As you can see, he's got a wicked, wicked
I was
physique.
gonna say
Really,
he's a pro, isn't he?
yeah, he's oh, what's the federation? He's OCB and something else. I can't
Yeah,
remember what the other federation is.
OCB is a massive natty federation in America, isn't it?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
We've got a
yeah,
UK show coming soon, actually.
they have. So
Yeah,
that should be
man.
pretty cool. Interesting to see how that turns out.
Yeah, yeah, that should be good,
Yeah,
actually.
man. But yeah, obviously he's massively into anime as well, so we'll have to get him on at some point because yeah, mate, he's a really really cool guy.
Mate,
Like,
so
mate,
yeah, I was gonna say,
we
oh no, go
literally
ahead.
like no, we literally like you'd think if you got two people who are into bodybuilding, like you'd speak about bodybuilding. Like we didn't speak about bodybuilding at all. Like
Yeah,
most of what we spoke about was just like life stuff and
yeah,
all
yeah,
that sort
yeah.
of thing. So he's actually his ethnic origin is quite interesting. So he's half like American.
Hmm.
He's a quarter Japanese and a quarter sorry, half Japanese and he's a quarter American and he's a quarter Lebanese.
Yeah, that's an interesting
So that's
mix,
a
man.
cool, interesting mix. So yeah,
Yeah,
cool guy. Went to Parkour as well in Shibuya. So it's like a
yeah,
little shopping center. The first few floors are like clothing, like standard stores. To be fair, there's some pretty good clothing stores there. It's just a bit expensive. So if you don't want to, yeah, if you don't want to spend a lot, then probably don't go to Parkour. Then like towards the top, there's like a few like anime stores. So they had like a one. I don't think it was specifically a One Piece store, but just a few anime stuff. They had
Yeah,
like
it's
a
a Jump
po
Street.
like yeah, Jump Street. Then they had like a what do you call it? Pokemon store as well. So that was pretty cool. yeah, a few other little anime related stores, so that was wicked. And then I actually had these
Oh
like
mate,
special souffle pancakes,
they look
mate.
Yeah.
fucking banging,
Unreal,
man. Yeah,
unreal, so good, man. There's this place called Flippers. So yeah, so had the souffle pancakes, and this is actually what they call maple buttercream, and that was banging as well. And then with some strawberries, like yeah, neat. That's a, if you go to
fucking.
Japan, you need to get them. So that
Mm.
was sick. Little physique shot. So this was Yoyogi Park, which is like sort of around Shibuya, so pretty standard park to be honest. It was cool. And then we went for some Indian food at the end as well. So me and Jacob. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
Trying to think if there's anything else. Yep. So that was that day.
Yeah, man.
Then
Just quickly speaking of Jacob,
yeah,
so obviously he messaged me on Instagram because we've got the same avatar, like
he said that.
fucking
He
thing.
said that
Yeah,
because I showed you to him because I was
yeah,
talking about the podcast. I showed your career routine, and he was
yeah.
like, "Oh, it's like sick. He's got the same avatar."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I spoke to bro, and he was basically like saying that and I told him like, look, we're all thinking of going there, and he was like, yeah, man, come fucking train with us. Like, we'll come get a session with you. So there we'll
Yeah.
probably get him on the pod at some point.
yeah, definitely.
But then
Yeah,
also
that'd be sick.
we'll also fucking see him in Japan,
Yeah.
which will be cool, to be
Yeah,
fair.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely,
So
definitely. He's a
Jacob, if you're
super.
watching,
Yeah, man, he's a really, really nice guy, really lovely guy, super easy to speak to. So yeah, man,
yeah.
well, absolutely, absolutely. So
Do you
wicked.
reckon you could do him in a show? Reckon you could beat him if you come in condition?
Um, yeah, yeah, I think it'd be close because we have different strengths. So he's actually like, he's got a better chest than me. He's lean at the minute, so obviously he looks leaner than me. I think he's starting a prep soon, but he's doing like a
Yeah, yeah,
12
yeah.
week, he's doing like a 12-week prep, um, for a few shows. So
He doesn't need
he,
long, especially
no,
for
no,
the
no, no, no.
yeah.
I'd do him on arms and delts, definitely. In terms of the fullness. Um, it's hard to say. We have different strengths, different weaknesses. So yeah, it could go
Yeah,
either way, but yeah, I
yeah.
won't be mad if he beat me, to be fair. So, either way,
Is he does he do from the rear or
uh, he's got a good back. I wouldn't say it's as good as his front, I'd say. Um,
okay?
maybe it'd be once again it'd be quite close, I'd say.
Mm,
So yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, he beats me in chest. Um, maybe we're to be fair, we're exactly the same height, so like structure wise, we're actually pretty similar. So
that's why I asked.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I've got fuller arms and delts. He's probably got more balance than me in terms of like muscular balance, so maybe he'd beat me in that.
Mm,
But yeah, hard to tell really. But yeah, we
mm.
worked on some posing as well, so I'll probably help him beat me with posing now as well. So that's cool.
Yeah, I was
Um,
gonna say now it's over with, man. Yeah,
yeah, man. Cool. Okay. Next day. So this was actually. Oh, so yeah. So we got a few like muscular where he mogged me there as well. Um. So that was cool. So what I've noticed as well is in Japan, generally they train with a lot more volume there. Um. Whereas like UK, it's very like JP style in terms of like lower volume, higher intensity. Whereas I've noticed in Japan, generally they don't train as hard. I've noticed,
Yeah.
and they train with
Yes.
way more volume, way more volume. Like they do like the standard like 5 sets of 10 for stuff like for each exercise is what I've noticed.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
but
They
I
were like that
suppose
in Korea, to be fair.
yeah. I mean, there's different ways
Yeah.
to skin a cat. It's not like one's right and one's wrong. Like there are top level Olympians who train like that. So who am I to say like it don't work?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think it doesn't matter how you train as long as you have an applied level of intensity there.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. As long as you're
yeah,
not like 10 RIR.
yeah. But then also you don't want to be doing a can I name drop him on the pod?
Yes.
Were you gonna this?
Well, there was somebody at the Team R Fit meetup.
Call him out.
We're just gonna call him the Mammoth. If you know who I'm on about,
I don't. You're gonna have to say
okay.
his name.
I think I do.
Yeah, no, you would do. He's a natty. He's apparently he's the best natty. Bro was screaming down the house with like one plate on the hack. It's pretty awesome, man.
You're gonna have to say his
Yeah,
name.
I don't actually remember it. I can see if I can pull it off if you want. Oh, I don't want this to come across like I'm bullying a kid though.
Is
Like,
is it Jacob?
no.
Jacob
No,
Tepper?
no, right. I'll just tell
He's
you.
not
I'll
part
tell you
of.
at the end of the episode. Anyway,
Yeah.
Okay.
you don't want to be just like screaming for the sake of screaming, but at the same time, train with a decent level of intensity.
Right.
You know.
Okay. Fair enough.
Anyway, moving
Cool.
on.
Cool. Anyways, so final full day. One of my favorite days because it was a completely different vibe from anything we did. So we went to a little town called Kawaguchiko, which is like near Fuji. So it's like this lake, and then around the lake, there's just yeah, you can walk around. There's a few shops. Basically, we went from the station, Kawaguchiko, then. We actually had this cool tempura place, which is absolutely amazing. I didn't take pictures, but there was like a half an hour wait, and it was absolutely worth it because it was like had just an assortment of I think it was shrimp tempura from there, and it was like legit. And they gave like this special sauce with it as well. That was incredible. And then they gave these three different salts, that was specific to Japan that we could just put on as we wanted. Mate, it was like probably the best meal I had when I was there. It was absolutely unreal. Then from there,
You said that like three times.
no, that
Everything
was
was so
no, no.
fast.
I always said it was one of the best meals. This was the best meal I had when I
Yeah.
was
Okay,
there.
we'll definitively rank them at the end though.
Okay.
For everybody on
Tier
prep.
list.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. So yeah, from there we walked around the lake. So it was cool because as we were walking around the lake, we got a different view of Fuji, as we can see in the background there, and it was kind of taking us to like what Google Maps told us was like the best point to get the view of Fuji from. So this was this point here. It was a bit annoying because there was like a bit of glare from the sun, and it was kind of like making the contrast between Fuji and the sky a little bit less, which is yeah, we kind of wanted the sun down a little bit more. And like later on, when we had finished, yeah, the sun was like setting basically. Yeah,
yeah.
you could see Fuji a lot more clearly. But yeah, man, it was still absolutely wicked, unreal
I was gonna
view.
say that picture is unreal. Yeah.
Yeah, man, that was sick. Obviously, a little shot with the bro. Yeah, my bro did me dirty there with the like little pinching. I tried to get Fuji, but yeah, he took it from the wrong angle. I thought I might as well post it. Uh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So little candid there. I actually tried this tea called matcha tea. I don't know if you boys have had it before.
Yeah. Yeah. Match to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I said I'm gonna call it midcha because it was not very nice. I
Yeah.
didn't like it.
It's supposed to be really good for you, but like it does just taste like mud.
Yeah, like
It's
Yeah.
it's like
horrible.
standard green tea basically, which I don't like anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously
Yeah.
that's the Shinkansen, so that's the bullet train in which we took. So that was that. Um, and yeah, I think so. Yeah, actually, so close to there, close to Kawaguchiko, there's actually like a Naruto and Boruto village. We didn't have time to explore it, but I reckon when we go, we should go there because like it's just full of like Naruto related stuff, and then there's an Ichiraku ramen there as well.
It's free to get in as well.
Yeah, yeah, it is. So yeah, I do want to go there at some point. Just a little sculpture. And that's I think my neighbor Totoro, isn't it? So there was like as we were walking from the station to um the lake, there were just a bunch of houses there. So it was just pretty cool seeing like the difference in the architecture between like Japan and the UK. Very different,
Mm.
very quirky, some of the houses. That
Yeah.
was pretty cool. Um, and then this was just a few steps to like a little shrine area, and then which you had a decent view of Fuji as well. So yeah, man, I think that pretty much wraps up the trip. Yeah, in terms of what we did, and then following day, yeah, was just a travel day back, 24 hours back to the UK. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was Tokyo. So absolutely
Yeah, man.
That's
unreal,
so fun.
unreal experience.
That's so sick.
Questions?
I was gonna say, I mean, my question was legitimately like, I would think we know almost like the don't, because I wanted to know like the 100% like do's in terms of like a place that like the definitively the best thing that you ate and you would have to eat there again, and just then like culturally like the best thing that you would say you did, and then two of like say something that we all know to avoid, and then something just maybe to miss out on next time.
Okay. So in terms of my favorite thing about going there, there I'm gonna say three. So the whole Fuji thing was cool because it was so different to anything else I did there. Um, Akihabara as a whole, absolutely crazy, crazy, crazy place.
Yeah.
Like, so that as a whole, I would say. I'm trying to think what else. Honestly, the Samurai Museum.
Yeah, I was gonna say that that
I
sounds.
would say that that itself was really cool, really really cool.
Mm.
In terms of things in which like I wouldn't be too bothered if I didn't do it. Um, me, I'm gonna sound like really uncultured, but maybe even the temple. Because it's kind of like it's just a temple. It's one of them. It's just a
Yeah,
temple. Like you can't once you've
yeah.
seen one, you've seen them all really.
Mm.
Um, I'd say Team Labs was cool, but it's like it's one of them where I wouldn't have like it's not like an absolute you have to do this. It's cool
Yeah.
experience,
Yeah.
but like I wouldn't yeah. I've
If
done
you've got the
stuff like
time to do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've done
Yeah,
stuff
it's
like
quite out
that,
of the
but
way as well.
yeah, I've done stuff like that, but better. There's actually a place in Edinburgh, like a Illusions Museum, which I actually preferred to this. Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
It's next to the castle.
yeah. I thought that
What?
was better. I thought that was better.
That's a hot take right there.
That's interesting.
Top 10 anime hot takes. Anyway, and then yeah, yeah. Harajuku was really cool as well as a whole. Like that whole place was wicked. Definitely worth doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think that's it really in terms of the do's and don'ts. Everything else I would recommend doing, in which we did, like
Yeah.
100%. Like as I said, like I don't feel like I really wasted a moment there. I
Yeah,
got
that's good.
Yeah.
pretty much everything I wanted to get out of it, to be fair. So yeah, man, I'm buzzing.
Yeah, man.
Where is it that
Sweet.
you've got like see that you went that time? Where is it you want to go next in Japan? Like, have you got spots you're like, I want to do this in Osaka or something like that? Or
Yeah, yeah,
what's
yeah.
the?
So I'll probably do Osaka and Kyoto next time.
Mhm.
I'd do Tokyo again, obviously. But yeah, I
Yeah.
do Osaka and Kyoto, maybe Nara as well, maybe.
Yeah, mate.
So yeah, so probably those places I would say, and make a longer trip out of it as well, just so we can spend more time in more places, and then you'd get a different feel of the country as a whole. I think Tokyo is obviously like pretty manic, but maybe you'd get more of a cultural feel in other places.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Sweet. So yeah, I don't know if we want to get into some of the questions then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get them up. The ones on the AniGains account. Thank
Yeah.
you for the getting the questions in, boys.
Yeah.
So starting off, we've got Josh Dandy who says it's not really about you know what, we'll go three must-do things in Tokyo from Josh Dandy. So we've kind of covered a bit of
I
that
think we talked
from
about that. So
yourself and
uh
that there.
I'm not gonna say Fuji because it's not in Tokyo.
Yeah,
Kawaguchiko, so I'm not gonna say that. I would say Akihabara. Um
yeah,
Shibuya as a whole, like you need to go to the Scramble Crossing. Like you have to. Like that whole
Yeah.
area is a must. Um then Akihabara as a whole, I would say. And then Harajuku, I would say. Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah.
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 I'm with you there.
Cool.
I'd say if you get the chance, go up either the Sky Tree or Tokyo Tower.
Oh,
I think
sorry.
being
Yeah.
able
Yeah.
to go up for those heights or
Definitely like,
Shibuya
yeah.
Sky.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of those
Well,
get
well,
the overarching look.
I wanted to go Shibuya Sky, but it was like fully booked for weeks, so I couldn't
Yeah,
get
you
in.
get done over with that one.
Yeah.
Um, the next one about the Japan was Shay McCall, asking, could you see yourself living in Japan / staying for an extended period after your trip?
Good question. I'm not sure. Like, I absolutely loved it for a holiday, but in terms of like the lifestyle side of things, it's not the most catered to like bodybuilders. Obviously, you could make it so,
Yeah.
but like I'm just thinking like from a food perspective and like supermarkets, like the food is like not the most bodybuilder friendly. It's not the most accessible to get decent
Really?
food. No, it's not.
Yeah,
It's
no,
not.
it's not.
Because it's like, I mean, you talk about like a bodybuilding diet, like you would need a carb source, like a grain source, a protein source, and then a fat source. Like,
Rice is easy to get, but like stuff like plain like chicken
Yeah.
or like meats, it's not easy to get that stuff. Like it's all processed and like a lot of the food, it's like
really?
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
when I was there, I was having to try and find that I was going for the first like few weeks, was going shop to shop trying to find nice cuts of chicken. And like say for example here you've got 5%, 10%, 20% fat mince. Like it's
Mm,
just mince. So you don't know what you're getting.
yeah.
So the quality of the meat's very different.
Yeah. There
And
was
the
what
chicken,
there was one shop in Tokyo where they did like it basically did everything that they did in the UK, but however, it was like a Whole Foods. It was very organic place.
yeah,
Everything was
yeah,
super expensive there, so expensive. So if you were to do your shop there,
yeah.
you'd be spending a lot of money. And that was like the only place where you could get like the stuff you'd normally be having on your diet. So it's cool to go
Mhm.
for a holiday for sure because you're going to be eating
Mm.
out, but like in terms of living there, it'd be a bit harder, I would say, unless you could find certain places where you'd get the foods you want to eat, I suppose. But yeah, maybe. I mean, it's just like obviously I'd have to think about business as well in terms of the posing side of things. At the minute, it's
Yeah, you'd be on a
massively
completely different time zone. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Obviously, like a lot of my client base is UK. Um, and then I'd have to like think about establishing a client base there in Japan if I wanted to make that a possibility. And then obviously I'd have to learn the language as well, like fully, because I'm the type like if I go to a place, I want to like speak the
Yeah,
language with the people. I don't want to like have to speak English and because I think that's pretty rude. I think if you go to a
yeah.
place to live, you should learn the language. Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
I feel like I could probably say I've not actually mentioned to anyone apart from like you boys and the boys in my other group chat, that I've actually on the topic of that I've booked my flight back to Japan. Um,
Nice.
I've got the one-way ticket, so we'll see what happens.
Oh man.
Mate,
Um, That'll be good. Towards the
Yeah.
back end of the year. But yeah, like as Kez was saying, if whenever you go, you kind of want to soak up the experience. And I think because I've got the experience myself of trying to live that lifestyle as a bodybuilder over there and as a coach, where I now know like there's a shop, Ito Yokodo or Ito Yokode, I think it's Ito Yokodo. They have like really nice cuts of meat. And if you go at the back end of the night, it will be down from 800 yen to like 300 yen for like 600 grams, which is like
really?
£2 or like £1. Yeah, £1 80. So I'm like, right, every night go there. But one of the big things, like protein powder is so expensive for like a good quality. Like you'll never find a Perform or anything like that. The stuff that you
Uh,
can get there, it's like it's stinking, absolutely honking. So having to get all your protein like through the mince or through the meats or anything like that, and making sure it's like clean. So it's pretty much only chicken. Because the mince is quite rough, to be fair.
could you not just like Amazon, like just like what? Because Optimum Nutrition is like global.
I did that towards the end. I ended up going Amazon Japan and getting the deliveries for all that stuff, but it's just more
Yeah.
expensive over there. Like it's
Yeah.
quite expensive for what you're getting. Like here, like a tub of what 2 kilogram performs costing like 40 something,
Yeah.
42 something. Like that's gonna cost you like 70, 80.
Yeah.
Like it ramps right up. So trying to find that balance of where you're getting your food source and things like that. Like the rice is easy, the fat source is easy, but it's the protein that can be a bit of a bastard if you don't know where you're looking. But again, once you spend a bit of time, like you'll be able to figure out. It's just you have to look around the place and test out different chickens, which it's a bit of a pain to be fair if you're only there for
Yeah.
a certain amount of time. Um,
Yeah.
but no,
Yeah.
that's the last question about
One,
staying there.
one, the one about
We've
Sakamoto days as well.
Yeah, so we've got two about anime. So another one from Josh Dandy, Sakamoto Days Opinions.
I
Good.
fucking
Very
okay.
good.
I actually really like it.
I'm really
Yeah,
enjoying
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I watched it. So
I've not watched the most recent one.
me and my brother watched it in when we were in Tokyo in the evenings. Mate, it's class. Good fun. Good fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Did you watch the most
Yeah.
recent one, Cam? The hard-boiled one?
I've not.
I've
Not
Oh,
not.
seen it.
That's the only one I've not seen
Yeah.
yet.
Oh,
oh,
bro,
watch that.
it's one of those shows
Yeah.
where I think it's like if you just need to turn your brain yeah, off and just enjoy
Yeah,
like a little bit of downtime. The end goal, once I retire from bodybuilding, is just to be Mr. Sakamoto,
yeah.
just to be a big fat guy that owns a shop, but like still has it in him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
like
yeah.
the final coach mode. I think. Yeah. Yeah, dude. I love Sakamoto.
It's
Not
cool,
everything
man.
has to be like a 10 out of 10 shit. You know, like you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be fucking
Yeah.
studio boned animated for it to be good, you know?
Yeah. No, that's
Makes
an
sense.
example of, like of a show that does like the light-hearted side of things well, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Still be
Speaking
entertaining, yeah.
of, I've started JoJo's.
Have you?
Have
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Where did you starting it from? Where are you starting it from? Because
So,
it doesn't
well,
matter what you say, people get on.
on the plane, I like randomly watched an episode, and I just watched episode one, and I thought it was from season one. It actually was season four of episode one, season four. So that's the first episode I watched.
Oh,
It was in
yeah,
Italy. It was in Italy. So that was the first one I watched. However, I wanted to start from season one. So now I've started from season one, and I've watched the first 7 episodes so far.
yeah, of season one.
Yeah. I'm
What's
enjoying
your
it.
opinion so far then?
Yeah, good,
Yeah?
good. I'm enjoying it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's cool.
Really? I
Obviously,
think season one pretty boring, to be fair.
so
But
I'm not. So for me, I already know it's not going to be like peak in terms of what I class as peak
mm,
anime, in my opinion, because I know it's just not my type of peak. It's not too deep.
mm,
It's quite on the nose in terms of like, you know how anime just like explain everything, like in terms of what
yeah,
everyone's thinking, what's happening. That show does that to the nth degree in terms of like
yeah,
everything
yeah,
what's
yeah,
happening is said out loud. And for me, I'm a big
Yeah.
fan of show don't tell. Like you don't need to say everything that's happening. This is why I like shows like Berserk or Vinland Saga, where you can still get what a character's feeling, but it won't express it through words all the time. It's like a sometimes it's music, sometimes an expression on someone's face, and sometimes that conveys stuff a lot better than just saying everything. And that's why like those shows aren't always my favorite, like JoJo's, but I do enjoy it. It's good fun so far. So yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Sick, man.
So I will
Sick.
definitely
Yeah.
continue.
Fair enough.
Yeah, man.
I've got one more on this from Talbot Balfe, who I've messaged him every single opinion I've had on this podcast. He's absolutely hated me for it. He's messaged me, like, been like, putting on his story, who doesn't watch JoJo's, who hates Attack on Titan. So hopefully I don't offend
Is
him
your
with this next
arch
one.
nemesis, is
Um,
Ian?
yeah, I know, I know. What is the most underrated anime?
So
Underrated.
I've been thinking
Yeah,
about this all day because I
yeah,
saw it. I've got three. So
right.
number one, Monster. So for me,
Yeah,
like this is peak for me. I'd say top five, if not top 10 anime of all time for me. I think it's that good. The story is absolutely incredible. So just the premise is basically set in Germany, I think around World War II times, I believe. Um,
Oh, I know this. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So basically, it's this doctor from Japan called Dr. Tenma, who's basically saving this kid's life. I think he's been shot in the head or something like that. Um, and then someone comes and I think that he's presumed dead, the boy, this kid. But then a few years pass, and then actually Tenma gets framed for the murder. They think he's done it. So he's on the run throughout this entire show. And then it follows the story of like the police obviously trying to catch him, but then him trying to navigate through this mystery of what's happened to this boy because he actually grows up and he turns out to be like some serial killer basically. And the
Yeah.
kid called Johan, he's probably one of the best villains in any anime I've ever seen. But it's just the way they incorporate the
Mm,
whole story. It's so it's so complex. If I was to compare it to anything, I'd say Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood in terms of it incorporates so many characters. It's really good world building and it explains the lore behind everything. And it's like it's one you can enjoy that isn't too weeby because it's set in the actual world. So it's no special powers or
Yeah.
anything like that. It's just real world. So yeah,
Mm.
Monster number one. Number two, Made in Abyss. So like I don't know why
And
this
Made
isn't
in
more.
Abyss is not underrated.
It is. It is because
It's not.
not a lot of people talk about it, and it's really good. It's really, really good. Have you seen it?
I have. I think it. I okay. I do think it's very good, but I don't think it's like. I wouldn't say it's an underrated show.
I
I
love it.
think Made in Abyss gets
Like
respect.
I love it because it got me gripped to be fair because of the element of the unknown to it because you it's cool the concept of going into this abyss and you know nothing about what's in there and then as you go deeper it gets I don't know scarier it gets more dangerous and yeah the way they
Mm.
build that entire world of the abyss is really cool and it's one of the most morbid shows I've ever seen in my life and I quite like it like I like the depressing morbid stuff like it's actually yeah, pretty gruesome at some points in terms of the stuff that they do in that. So yeah, Made in Abyss,
Yeah.
another one. Next, the final one. I don't know if you've seen Erased.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really
No.
good. Like it was a short show. I think it's is it based on like time travel? I think it's a time travel type one.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
basically they're investigating these series of disappearances of these kids at a school and they're trying to figure out okay, who's the culprit. And they do it by going back in time. And it's something you can watch like in a whole day because it's like 12 episodes or something. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
just really cool how they execute it and it's not very widely talked about. So those are my three. How about you boys?
Well, I would say for mine, and funny enough, this is an exclusive take because this got mentioned in the AniGains chat. So, anime by the same writer of Cowboy Bebop. It's called Samurai Champloo, and it is legitimately, I would probably say, my in between with Hunter x Hunter because you can't compare the two shows. I'd probably say it's like my top, to be fair. It's a show that no one has watched, no one's really heard of, and I think if more people did, everybody's heard of the soundtrack from this. The soundtrack is done
Yes.
by a guy called like Nujables.
Yeah.
And he's basically like a super famous DJ who basically incorporates like that sort of like Japanese traditional Edo Eastern sound with basically lo-fi. Like he is the guy who basically started lo-fi. The show is about basically this girl called Fu, who forms a sort of like ragtag team with like these two vagrants, who are just like basically just like these two bums who are just swords for hire. And she's on a mission to go find the samurai that smells of sunflowers. And spoiler alert, she does. But the entire show is about the journey and getting there. And it is like the show of the summer. Like it all every summer I watch that show. It's like 24 episodes long. Um, and it incorporates like hip hop like massively into the anime as well. Like through its soundtrack, through like its like characters even. Very, very similar to like the sort of another show called The Boondocks, which I don't know if you boys ever like
Yes.
heard of or seen.
Yes,
Boondog Stray
I've
Dogs.
seen a lot of Boondocks.
Yeah, The Boondocks, man. You know I'm
Yeah.
so, not Boondocks Stray Dogs, no. No, no.
No.
This is the Boondocks is like it's like a comedy show, but it almost like combines like an actual good element of comedy with like really cool fight scenes, really cool like soundtrack, and it's like in like the Edo peace period of Japan. Yeah, I want to go visit Ryukyu in Japan because of that anime. So yeah, I would say for an underrated show. Like legitimately, go check out Samurai Champloo. So, so good. Promise you will not regret it, man. No, what's your take?
So mine's this is only probably recency bias, but since we last spoke, I've just finished a new. It's not a new one, but it's new to me. It's called Beck. It's
Love it.
from like early 2000s. It's also called Mongolian Chop Squad. So it's about this boy. He's 14 years old and he wants to like join a band, pretty much. And it's about them getting together these different like people in the band and going performing at this show. And it's like similar in terms of art style, I think, to like Samurai Champloo. Like it's quite that kind of I can't think like it is that kind of animation style. It's quite basic.
Yeah.
And the only bad thing is so there's one guy, Ryusuke, who's American but speaks Japanese, but the voice actors is Japanese, so his American's like awful, awful. So I'm always cringing out when they're speaking English. I'm like, no. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
apart from that, it's really good. It's like 26 episodes. And I really enjoyed it. I'm wanting to now that I've watched it, I want to get the manga for it. Like I really enjoyed it. Saying that, I got a delivery whilst we've been on this call. Wheelchair Basketball has arrived. Episode 1, book 1 is here. So
Wheelchair
Wheelchair
basketball.
Rocket League is
That's the
here.
actual name. Yeah.
Rocket League.
So 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 we've got that. But in terms of underrated, I think I'm gonna second what Cam says. Now I've not seen Samurai Champloo, but one of my most listened to artists is Nujabes or Nujabes. I don't know how you pronounce it.
I
Um,
don't know, to be honest. Yeah.
and I've been looking at getting some new tattoos. And one of them was Nujabes, like the name, and then that in katakana as well.
Hell yeah, man.
But I also wanted to get one of the album covers on my arm.
Right, we are back. Kez's laptop died. But
Sorry about
Noah was in the process of telling us about debatably one of the best, I would say, sort of soundtrack composers in all of anime, Nujables.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So I had been listening to his music. It was ever since like when I started reading manga, my whole TikTok was like about Aurelian Dance. Everyone will know that one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That one. So I
that.
get
Getting
into it from
cancelled,
that.
bro.
Exactly. Sorry, copyright. And then from that, I started listening to Lovesick, all
Yeah,
the different Lovesicks that came out, and then I was hooked, absolutely hooked. And like I said, I was going to get a couple tattoos, and I wanted to get something about him because he's not making music anymore. He passed away in like 2010.
yeah,
So I wanted to get one of his soundtracks, some of the ones that I enjoy the most. And I was looking at what kind of art style I really liked, and the one that stood out to me was I think it's called Departure, or it's got Departure on it somewhere. I think it's called Departure. And I was looking into the character, and I was like, oh, this is the soundtrack for Samurai Champloo.
yeah,
And I hadn't heard about that apart from Cam speaking about it at times on the podcast, I'm pretty sure. But apart from
yeah,
that, I've never seen it come up, never heard of it before. And now I'm about to start that because if I'm going to get it tattooed on me, I should at least know know what it's about.
yeah,
Um, but if you've not listened to New Jabs, listen to him. He is incredible.
yeah.
Um,
To be
any
fair, yeah, if you check out Samurai Champloo, you'll end up checking out
yeah,
Nujables anyway. The two kind of go like hand in hand. If you're a fan of lo-fi, who the fuck doesn't like
yeah,
lo-fi? Come on, man. Like it's
go
just
up, go
yeah,
up.
yeah. Honestly, yeah. All right.
Um,
Sweet.
yeah. Also,
Fair.
real
Wheelchair basketball.
Oh,
wheelchair
yeah,
basketball
boy.
is here. We've the warning was put out in the last episode.
Yeah,
We've
but they
now
don't
got,
have anybody in wheelchairs on the front cover.
I think they're still walking at this point. Also, I don't mean to say that.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure they weren't.
oh.
Oh no 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 no! I've got a panel here. There's a wheelchair.
But
So
like,
do you
yeah,
reckon he gets like struck by a bus or something in
No,
between that
so I
point?
think
fucking.
because it's the same guy that wrote Vagabond, Takehiko Inoue. It's like starting off like you're all right, then it comes down. It's all about like coming back up. The other one's good. I'm not trying to like look for
I was
wheelchair
gonna
folk.
say,
So they cure
probably don't do
themselves
an
at the
awful
end.
lot coming up.
Listen, I
I
actually
think they
don't know the
say
story.
sat
I
for
got
most
told
of the
this
story.
when I was had had a couple of drinks in a toilet in Derby, so I can't remember too well, but I get good reviews, so I've invested in that. So we'll see how it goes. We'll have a book review
Yeah,
next time.
Very
yeah,
There you
nice.
go.
Sweet. Okay, so I'll rattle through a few questions I got from my Instagram story. So first one is from J Davies 109. How do you sort of manage with off-plan meals away. I don't really deep it too much, to be honest. I don't. I'm on holiday. Like, I'm not gonna
Honestly.
be perfect in terms of my plan. The main thing I look out for is get a decent amount of protein in and make sure I eat enough calories. Like, that's it. Like, so
Yeah.
I'll make sure I roughly like I'll aim to eat a bit more than I'd normally do. Just so because obviously I'm quite active. I'm probably doing 20K steps a day easily. So obviously I don't want to lose too much weight. And then, yeah, obviously you want to get a decent amount of protein in. So I'm getting like 4 or 5 protein servings a day. And that's
Yeah.
pretty much it. Like, and then I've managed, like, my physique hasn't completely gone to waste. I've lost about 2 pounds, I think, whilst I was in Japan, which is mostly just water and fullness. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I would say unless you're on prep or you're on like a diet, don't overthink it. Do not make like making your nutrition perfect a priority whilst you're on holiday. You want to enjoy it. You want
Mm.
to try the local food for sure. At the same time, like just don't take the
Don't be
mick
a
and
bellend.
you don't need to
Yeah.
binge.
Yeah.
Like
Don't
you
eat as
don't need
much.
to binge. Like you can try loads of different foods at like a decent portion size. Like you don't need to eat everything in sight.
Mm.
So yeah, maybe don't go to America if that's the case, because yeah, I think
Yeah.
their portions are like double size to be fair.
I basically say the same thing to anybody else that goes away or like whatever. And if anything, it really does piss me off when I see like people like trying to be like I'm not saying like making an effort is a bad thing, but like if you're like turning your nose up at say like authentic cuisine and then like going home and like legitimately like binging like when you get back from the holiday, like you're a fucking bellend, like honestly.
Yeah.
Like enjoy the culture for what it is. Try new things and like just focus on being present and being there.
Yeah.
Don't but your food focus shouldn't even be at the point of like,
No.
oh, like I need to optimize my performance because realistically, you're not training on the same bits of kit that you're going to be using at home.
Yeah.
You're going
Yeah.
to be out of routine. There's going to be so much that's going to be out of your element because you're away anyway. You know, focus on being locked in when you need to be locked in. Focus on enjoyment, especially if you've taken that time out for yourself or other
Yeah.
people. It's I
Yeah.
don't yeah.
The main thing's really get protein in, have like a decent like digesting meal before if you're gonna train before you train, like maybe don't eat anything too heavy before you train. And
Yeah.
then make sure you're hydrated as well. I would take an electrolyte supplement just because you're walking around a lot. It is easy to get quite dehydrated when you're away, so I probably would take some kind of electrolyte whilst you're there as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it, really. Don't overthink it, is the main thing.
Yeah.
Next one from Ian Talbot Bowell. So, what's the most underrated part of Japan? I'm not going to say anything which I've talked about already. I'm going to talk about something different. And I was amazed by this, how clean it is in Tokyo. Honestly, because if I was to compare it to any city, like in terms of size, infrastructure, everything, it'd be London. And London's a cesspit, honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
Fucking hell,
if
bro.
you look
Yeah.
at the streets of London, it's absolutely full of litter everywhere. And I was amazed. Like, wherever you walk in Tokyo, there is not a speck of litter anywhere you go. And it's incredible considering how many people are there. And and another thing as well, it's hard to find bins. Like there aren't a lot
Yeah.
of bins there as well. Like I'm walking around with like a wrapper for like hours looking for a bin. And and I just can't believe there isn't any litter, and it just shows the culture there.
Mm.
Like it's a signal of the culture, and they know like not to litter there and to respect the city, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
obviously, it just adds to the whole experience when you see that the place is clean as well. For me,
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'd probably say that's the most underrated part.
I will also say quickly, if you are going to Japan, anyone here, if you're looking for a bin, just go into like a one of the convenience. So if you go into 7-Eleven, Family Mart or something, just nip in, put your stuff in the bin and leave because otherwise you're gonna need like carry a bag around at all times because there's literally nowhere else to put it apart from there.
Yeah,
They don't have public bins.
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. And don't litter. Don't
yeah,
don't be the
Do
English
not
tourist.
litter. We
yeah,
do
yeah.
not we do not condone
Yeah.
or endorse littering here on the AniGains podcast. Sweet. Okay, next one. So are there a lot of halal food options or is it difficult to find halal food? So that's a good question. Honestly, it's not that hard. There are actually, especially in Tokyo, there are quite a few halal places. All you have to do is literally just type in halal food on Google Maps and it'll just show you a bunch, especially in like the busy areas like Shibuya and Shinjuku. There are quite a few. You can try like pretty much every cuisine. So like um, ramen, wagyu, tempura. There are halal options like pretty much everywhere. So there are halal specific restaurants. Some of them do get quite busy relative to the number of seats they have. So you will have to queue for some of them. Obviously, because like I'm guessing all the Muslims in the area will be queuing for them restaurants. So it does get a little bit busy. But yeah, there are absolutely options. And then you can obviously go for like if there aren't any like halal places around, you can obviously go for like seafood as well, because obviously we can have any type of fish. So yeah, so as a Muslim, it's not too hard to travel in Tokyo at all. It's a lot harder, and actually you have like those like standard Turkish kebab places which you have everywhere. So it's not too bad. Like there are a lot of places in Europe where it's like a lot harder to find halal food than Tokyo. So yeah, as a Muslim, I would highly recommend traveling there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
That's dope.
Yeah, man. So those are all the questions that I had. So I don't know if we had anything else that we want to speak about.
No, I think to be honest, like that's pretty chunky. There's a little chunky episode in there.
It was.
Yeah,
It was.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
All right, boys. Well, thank you all very much for tuning in to episode number 5 of the AniGains podcast. Um, if you did enjoy the video or anything that we mentioned today, again, check out everything. Links will be in the description for everything. Boys, you want to finish off with anything?
Noah?
Oh, me. If you're looking for coaching, then follow me. Obviously, the link will be in the caption somewhere. But no, hopefully everyone's all good. That's about it from myself.
Yeah, I'll keep it short. If you're looking for men's physique posing, just drop me a DM. That's pretty much it. Chosen few. Cares 10% off. And then yeah, I think we should try and get a guest on for the next one though.
I
Yeah.
have a couple people in mind, and
Don't say it out loud.
no, we won't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
speak about it after.
Sweet.
But everybody, if you're looking to look like your favorite anime character, you know who to come to. Message your boy. Link will be in the bio. Boys, thank you all very much again, and everybody, we will catch you next week for episode number 6 of the AniGains podcast with a special guest.